You are now listening to the Perceptive Readers Podcast. Good day, and welcome to the Perceptive Readers. This is James Lynch. Today, we're going to talk about the ones who started with PocBooks.com, the website, way back in 2010, 2011, around about that time period. And I also had a brand social media account, which was on Twitter, that was under the PocBooks name. So persons could easily look up Twitter right after going to the website. Well, who are these ones? There were a few students in high school. Very smart students. Some made, or should I say, struggled with some grades, and then others made 4.0s through the extracurricular classes that they were taking, and went on to college and did well for themselves. And some of them have some nice careers where they certainly are able to keep a roof over their heads and food in their bellies. And I like to say maybe take a vacation 2 or 3 times a year as well. The PocBooks.com or the PocBooks Twitter account, I just want to make sure that you're aware of this. It's no longer around because there were some problems with the account years ago with hacking and things of that nature, where eventually about maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I just had to let it go. It's just in abeyance or just, out there in la la land. I'm sure if maybe I wrote several letters, maybe, or shall I say quite possibly if I wrote several letters, again, proving who I am, etc., I could probably get it back. And even if I couldn't, I just want you to know the PocBooks Twitter account, if you were looking for it, that's why you don't see it up there. Well, anyway, getting back to the students over the years that have visited the website, laughed and cried, and even asked questions from time to time, which they did over social media. It was nice having them be there. And see, I'm telling you all this for a reason, because at the end of this podcast or these topics that I'm going to talk about, I'll let you know that, hey, I am under my own personal name now. And if students wanted to follow me or what have you, or connect even there, you are welcome to. I admit, any type of contract or business or what have you, I would always mostly, reference that for me, you got to be over 18 to sign anything with me or what have you. But I just wanted to let you know that. Now, the topic that we're going to go into, it deals with the new school year. It deals with things that will help as a professional and entrepreneur, and just even help as a person. I'm sharing some of these things from experience. What do I mean by that? You see, there's a view that a lot of people have, and when I've heard it said, I normally don't even correct the person as far as what my view is. I just normally let them think or feel this way, that the way they feel. They normally have some, I guess you could say, some justifiable reasons on why they say that. And so, again, I'm not going to be here to argue with them or even to say that they're wrong, because I see what perspective they're coming in at, okay? I'm just going to share what perspective I've worked on over the years. And I'm not even saying that I got it down perfectly. I'm just telling you, this is still the thoughts, or these thoughts go through my mind when this happened. Now, what is that saying? Persons have stated, respect is earned. Have you said that yourself? Do you feel that way? Respect is earned, and people can say it with passion when they say it. Well, with that thought, and I'm very serious with this, Here's my thought. Respect is linked with dignity. Dignity is something that every human has, is given. It's not even something that's earned. It's just an appropriate, even humanitarian way of treating somebody. You see what I'm saying? And so what I normally tell people that, I've had occupations and people in the military really know this. And it's talked about, they know exactly what I'm talking about. And these are some of the expressions. They said, the person can actually be a less favorable type of individual. Normally they call the person some names on top of that. But whatever their position or title is, the title you are to respect. The title you are to dignify. Okay? Now, the next thought that may be coming through your mind or going through your mind, well, what? I don't get it. The person doing this or this. And now this is what I'm going to give you. In experience, yes, respect and dignity, and I really want to emphasize dignity, dignifying a person, is God-given, but it is trust that is earned. Now, does that make sense? And we'll go more into it as I give you some examples, or should I say some questions near the end of everything that we're reading right now to see what I mean about trust is earned. How at first you may not trust the person, but how you will be still showing dignity and respect even before you get that trust. You understand what I'm saying? Okay, you understand. Now, let's start off with the article of some thoughts that I put down called Welcome Students to September. And yes, we're about to go into October. And this was an article that I wrote back on September 3rd at the parkbooks.com website. It's a short article to just the students specifically. But I can't really say specifically because, when I shared it, I had one teacher who not only liked it, but shared it on one of my social networks. And I really appreciate that a teacher actually appreciated it. Someone in the education and academia and things of that nature did it. And then there was a couple other persons who are also in that field that at least really took a look at it seriously. And so just want to say, I'm glad you enjoyed it and it benefited you somehow. Now, I go on to say good day and welcome students to September. This will be another interesting month and year of reading with enjoyment of visual media. Or should I say with enjoyment of visual media? Yes, I did say that. And so it says the summer here at the Product of Culture website had more maintenance and learning additional technical skills I did not expect in my plans, but we go with the flow the best we can in getting things fixed, you see. And I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that the summer actually concluded on September 23rd. It concluded on September 23rd and autumn begun on that day. So, I had to emphasize, I hope you were able to take vacations or some well-deserved breaks at least. I just love talking about vacation, don't I? That doesn't mean that I even take them. But anyway, that's another story. So, school attenders, this was one of the bold-faced headings. I said, remember, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. All you young minds of today, it is my hope that you are successful in working through those tough arithmetic problems. Be sure to eat plenty of nuts and berries if such things are available to you. The important thing to remember is your mind's body works best when there is a steady flow of high energy nutrients. This does not mean caffeine, even though you know I love my coffee and tea. And let me stop for a second. I got a cup of coffee in my hand right now. And so continuing on. Eating fruit and vegetables every few hours is beneficial for your brain since you are wearing the thinking cap all day long. Does that make sense to you? So what does this mean? Don't you dare skip eating during lunch. Yes, and I am saying that with respect. And so to make sure you know I'm saying it with respect, I said, let me say this again. Please don't skip lunch. You see, don't skip it. Now, work hard to have a wonderful and successful year. There is a poem that I also put with this article called A Circle in a Square. I'm not going to read it here. I thought about reading it at the end of the podcast, but I said, no, I'm going to leave this poem with this article that you can read. It's called A Circle in a Square, okay? Now, the next article I would like to share with you happens to be something that I'm not going to read to you. I'm just going to bring out some thoughts that it deals with the best proofreading tips. Some of these tips, and that's what I found fascinating because it goes to show that how you learn things sometimes from trial and error. Some of these tips that I wrote down were just things or practices that I picked up over the years because I found I just had to pick them up. And as I mentioned in the article, I'm still not always consistent with doing this. I wish I was, but right now, I always made a joke about, boy, and I was talking to somebody the other day who's very good at writing and things of that nature too, even though they say that they're not. That I said, as your business grows, because this person is an entrepreneur as well. I said, as your business grows, you might really, want a secretary. And I don't mean a secretary, somebody that really has to sit at the desk the whole day. No. As I've said, the way that I've worked in times past, see, I'm the type of person, it's like, okay, we can work together or something on a project, and it's almost like you will find out, hey, maybe just one day a week, I'll send you an email or something, let you know, hey, this is what I need help with. Can you help me with this? Did you see something that I needed to correct or what have you? And then boom, if that person doesn't have any further questions or what have you, then that's just it. It just complete. So I normally have everything that I'm thinking about and want, and then I just send it like in one, I guess you could say, compiled a type of email of my thoughts and questions and maybe requested help. And there you go. So the point is, I remember one person recommended me some years ago about even getting a virtual assistant who can do that. And so they are out there. I just thought I'd let you know that you can look up virtual assistants, a human, and probably even use them maybe once a week to take care of matters like that too, if you find that you need them. All right. Now, on top of that, back to the best proofreading tips. It's called the best proofreading tips. And if you look through, I guarantee you, it will have something in here. And I even looked up what other persons have said that they learned over the years too. And it's almost like we are all in harmony just by reading some of these, what other writers have said online. We are all in harmony on, yes, these are the best proofreading tips that you can do that will help you. And so some of you got those term papers and all sorts of other papers you have to write. Get into the best practices now, even though I know I don't even do these on everything that I write. But those rock'em sock'em articles that you got to knock them out the ballpark on, and you're like, hey, I want my teacher to really know that, hey, I'm trying, and things of that nature. Use these tips, and there's a high percentage that you're going to, get that 90% or above at least on your grade. It's a good high percentage that you'll do that. All right. So that's one of the other things I wanted to mention to you. Then the other article I want to share with you that I wrote, it actually deals with the perceptive readers. See that I talked about in this article, again, making sure, you get or eat plenty of vitamin C throughout the year. People eat it, get it through oranges. A lot of persons, like myself, I end up actually taking supplements. Sometimes the older you get, it's like you don't always eat as much, but you just be drinking the juice and everything if you can, So, but that's another subject, as it is too. It actually kind of helps with the, I know this is a side subject, but it does help with the digestive system. If I head my way, and sometimes I go through different periods where if I can have some type of smoothie in the morning, and I'm talking, a heavy smoothie packed with almost everything that I need, hey, I am good to go. I feel good. And you know what? I feel as good as if I had a cup of coffee. Well, maybe I shouldn't go that far. But some days I do. I feel like, man, I don't even need a cup of coffee, because normally on those days that I drink a smoothie, I don't have coffee in the morning, not right away. Normally I go the whole day without. I think I told you I don't really drink coffee every single day like I used to. But again, some of you know. But I mentioned in there about vitamin C and the practice that persons, and I even see people still doing this, carrying around wipes all the time, hand wipes. I wasn't told to say this or anything, but there is one company that you persons know that they really into a lot of baby products and eco-friendly and things of that nature that you see. I put some of their stuff, and I've written an article on them from time to time. Or should I say, I put up their advertisements or what have you time to time. Yeah, just because I really do appreciate the type of products that this company put out for not only babies and children, but families and things of that nature. And so anyway, you would know that right away just by going to the website, what company that I think can really help you from, wipes and everything else to help you. So when you go to school, you can always sanitize whatever, you need to sanitize, and there you go. All right. Now, let me see. I'm still looking over the article, and one thing that I want to share with you even further about these podcasts, videos. In one section, now before I go on, I want to make clear that I really wish you well to do the best you can on the core subjects of math and grammar in your native language. Let me emphasize that. Math and grammar in your native language. Because don't you know, if you can knock that out of the park, like with the high B or A 4.0 or something like that, you most likely can learn any language you want to with a little less struggle. See, anybody, as it has been said, that, you can learn another language, but some of us, we struggle more than others. And sometimes it actually deals with because of the type of experience or even grades that we made in school. I was going to share something about how important that is. So, but but it will go even longer than what I want this Perceptive readers to go into, because I'm at the 20-minute mark now, and I want to finish before 30. So I just want to share with you that if you do well in those core subjects, you see, like that, the sky's the limit for you and your thinking ability to be able to pick up other new things. All right. Now, I wrote one more thought. There are Perceptive Readers podcast video presentations yet to be made for you who enjoy this type of medium. They will be placed in the presentation page each week they are released. Look for about 3 or 4 a month. Yes, you will experience some new, and others you have already seen will also be rotated in from time to time. The platforms that are uploaded to first happens mainly to be BitChute. Let me emphasize that. BitChute. I know that may be something new to some of you, but I found that BitChute works best for me. And here is why. Minds.com. I would love to be able to also upload my videos there, which I can, but there is some type of setting or security or maybe some type of instruction that I don't know about right now. And I wrote to Minds about this, and one time they did say they had a security setting or something going on, but it does not allow me to embed it on my popbooks.com WordPress website. And I wish it will get fixed right away. And this is so important because I go on to relate to you that you may be thinking, why don't you just upload them to YouTube like you used to? Well, some of you who have been with me from the beginning realize early on, my YouTube channel, the Pop Books One, it just does not work. It really doesn't. I mean, I can have thousands upon thousands and even millions of people viewing my videos. And guess what? I come back the next day and it's still showing 0 or 1. So there you go. You can check it out yourself. Just go there. Click on 1 or 2 videos and see what happens. And if it starts working, well, good. But it's been like this for years. And that's why I says people sometimes, I know I got thousands or maybe even millions on my videos. Go ahead and prove me wrong. I hope, please do. But I tell you what, even if you prove me wrong that I don't have millions and now let me jump up to billions. Ooh, I'm on the road now. Let me drink a cup of coffee. No, let me stop. But even if that's not the case, I just know it's more than that 0 or 1. You understand what I'm saying? That's on now. Okay. Because enough people always have shown or related that they know they saw the videos and and then I know I go back and I'm like, well, okay. But anyway, that's the reason why with the BitChute, because now at least with BitChute and with Minds, you view the video and it shows. And so, thank you. And so I'll be embedding the BitChute videos on the popbooks.com website. But like I said, if you want me to upload it to YouTube, just let me know. Send me a contact, through a contact form that's on my welcome page of the site, and I'll be sure to do it. Okay. Now, moving on, let's go to what we talked about in the beginning, where we talked about trust, respect, and dignity. Why it is so important. And now you're going to see how it applies. Okay. Because I said, sometimes people mostly say respect, is earned. And I told you the way that I think about it, or with my experience, I found that really respect and dignity does go hand in hand, and dignity is God given. It's God given. And I could go into the good book and show you, I could. And so some of you heard it, and maybe one day again, I will do it on a separate podcast. But see, I mention the good book sometimes because it's sometimes there are things and ways that I function in my professional life that I function that way just because the good book has curtailed me or made me in such a way that I do, where some people will even say, no, I'm sorry. I wouldn't put up with this or that or what have you. And you know what? And I completely appreciate what you're saying and why. And I even can see the wisdom in what you're saying and why. You do your business and stuff a certain way. Let me emphasize it again. I even see the wisdom why you function and mold your business, your entrepreneurship the way that you do and how profitable you made it. Okay. I'm just giving you where my mind is functioning at. And why I do certain things sometimes where you say, look, James, by you being that patient on whatever, you making the difference between getting this now, but at the rate you're working, it's going to be another, a time period for you to get it. Well, yes. And yet I'd still function a certain way. Because of just everything that makes me up as a person, as an individual. And, in the good book, is certainly the major part of it. So getting back into that respect and dignity. As I said before, dignity is God given. And so there's just a certain way, humane way, even elevated way. You have to treat a person, dignify a person, as they said it. And so if you dignify a person, you're doing what? You are treating them with what? Yes, respect. Okay. Now, trust. There's a difference. You cannot trust a person and still dignify them. Do you agree with me there? And see, and look where it comes in. Let's say that you own an art gallery, okay? Now, if you own the art gallery, what type of person would you hire? Well, a person come in, you don't know the person or what have you, but boy, I tell you what, they got the verifiable credentials and their portfolio that shows they are an artist. And a rootin' tootin' good artist at that, at their skill. You don't know nothing about their life or what have you, but you do got the credentials that you have verified and you can verify. That's like, okay, I'm hiring this person for a job. I want these 4 galleries, etc., right here. And I know this person is going to do it. They got it. Now, so in that case, on just a small level, you at least know that they're qualified, that they've done the job and they can do it. And as far as the trust level, it might be just that they can at least just do the job. Okay? But that still doesn't mean that at the same time, if you really needed maybe an accountant or something else or what have you, or anything that's really dealing even with your personal life, that you're going to trust that person to know your innermost sympathies and feelings about matters. And you know what? And that's okay. But do you see what I'm saying? So the point is, the trust is not there for someone to know that. You have boundaries and personal boundaries of why you will tell a certain person this or that, or you don't want to. And it normally comes with trust. And then as you trust that person, you probably will relate certain things if you all really jive on that level, you see. You meld on that level. Mind meld on that level, okay? All right. So the same thing will go for if you are looking for somebody, who's a teacher, a hospital staff member. We can go on and on and on as to how when you meet with persons first or what have you, you may not trust them. But as you going into conversation, the initial beginning conversation still, you're respecting them, you're dignifying them, etc. So let me read this last article with you where it says, mentor students and honesty is the best policy. See, Why is honesty is the best policy? I'm sure you realize that's what builds trust, you see. So, hi mentors and perceptive readers to these thoughts on honesty is the best policy. How would you answer on the value of honesty? Is it the best way to be? The above statement is A, fact, B, false, or right or wrong, you see. And I put in the definition of honesty in the business dictionary, or how it's referenced in their ethical behavior, you see, definement. And it states, acting in a way consistent with what society and individuals typically think are good values. Ethical behavior tends to be good for business. I like to say that it's good for business and involves demonstrating respect for key moral principles that include honesty, fairness, equality, dignity, diversity, and individual rights. So, do you get the understanding that what you see is what you get? Think about the person's profile. Think about the resume and things of that nature. So, or at the very least, be truthful. So when you introduce yourself by name to this new person, it is expected that not only are you giving the correct name, but honesty is certainly involved with the name and actions, and will continue to do so. So when you wanted to hire that artist, I said, hey, how about a singer? Okay. A brand model. You are really expecting that, hey, this person's name is linked with singing, the profile is their resume. Hey, I can count on that. And then, of course, other factors too. But all these things continue if we comport ourselves that way. It will, in return, what? Develop, again, trust in that person's abilities, maybe to share other things with them further. So, going to mention, society needs and expects honesty and dignity in everyday interactions. See, you already are in the start of the school year, are you not? Mentors and teachers have classes of these bright minds still considered in their early stage of life's understanding. Will you impress upon your listeners how honesty is the best policy? Yes, even when it comes to homework, please stop blaming Sweet Fido, the dog family member, for eating it. If Fido is eating it, then can you move your work assignments to higher ground? At the very least, continue to impress upon these minds. If you have a question, then please, by all means, ask. And yes, let me say it again. If you have a question, then please, by all means, ask. I really cannot express this enough. You've heard me say, there are some people you can literally follow around 24 hours a day. Hear every word that they say. Hear every conversation that they've had, thinking you're following around, like the pupil and the teacher, and yet still not always know what they will do in a certain situation, how they may decide to or handle a certain situation. The mind is vast, like a universe. And so how much more so with these classes and the teachers, where students might even have their certain names for their teachers or what I'm saying. Oh, this is Miss Tough or Mr. Tough or this or that or what have you. And you better just ask a question. It doesn't matter if they showed it on the board and you're trying to work through it or whatever, and there's something just not clicking. Ask a question. And so moving on, this is a little section that can help where it says, yes, mentors and teachers have a way of instructing their students through their joy of the subject to become involved during a question and answer session. For example, some teachers in a 30-minute teaching session may teach for 10 minutes and answer questions for 5 minutes. Then they may have another 5 or 10 minutes for paperwork exercises. Some students, most likely, may have a few questions afterwards. The above is by no means set in stone on how to teach. The purpose of this article is to share the importance of your mentoring routine in allowing and, in some cases, encourage honest questions. Some students may experience timidity at first. In conclusion, how would you rate your environment for being, out the best or bringing out the best of your students? How would you rate your environment? With an assessment and observation of the questions you are receiving, then your classroom policies will improve its conduciveness for drawing out honest responses from your students. We'll go into a lot more talking, but we're going to stop right there. And just remember, students, I really do wish you well. I said again, if you want to connect with me, even like over Twitter or something like that, you can easily find my Twitter handle, or ask, is under my name, but you can ask even through the contact form on the homepage. Well, no, not the homepage right now, but the welcome page of popbooks.com. And as I said before, I wish you the best. Hey, if you're visiting this website on a regular basis, it already shows that you're a step ahead of the game anyway. And what I mean by that is you're developing, or may already even have, your thinking ability, your perceptive ability, and all of these things help you in life, today, tomorrow, and in the future. So you take good care of yourself, and much success to this school year and to the class of 2020. You have just listened to the Perceptive Readers Podcast. Remember, until next time, if you read something that encourages you to improve or enhance your life for the better, it becomes your reality.